No one shades Mimi and gets away with it. Mariah Carey is the latest A-lister to be ensnared in the shallow fishnet trawled by Meghan Markle, and she's clapping back at what some see as a vicious treatment. Meghan may think she's being slick and sly with her Archetypes podcast, but her guests are feeling the same slow burn that the royal family know all too well. The latest backhanded slap was at Paris Hilton's expense. Meghan Markle titled the podcast Bimbos, and Paris was the poster child guest that week. Get it? Paris probably does now. In a now infamous two-faced routine, slick Meghan apologised to Paris for thinking of her as a nincompoop. It's called passive-aggressive biatch slapping, and Meghan is the queen of it. Next, she added Mariah Carey, legend Mariah Carey, and dimwit Meghan tried to insult her as well, but Mimi wasn't having it. During the podcast, Mariah complimented Megs on being a diva. Meghan was horrified and quickly rebutted that she is no diva. Mariah told her stop playing, you know you're a diva, and Meghan sputtered, unused to being beat at her own snide verbal game. Mariah took it one step further, telling Mr. and Mrs. Markle's podcast journalist Gayle King in a new interview how she really feels. Mariah Carey said of divaness, "I thought it just meant something fabulous." According to GOTV, royal experts and fans believe that Mariah has thrown shade at Meghan Markle. Exposing SMG said the singer educated Megs on the stereotype behind the word diva during her interview. And one pundit said that in effect, Mariah disowned her appearance on Meghan's Spotify podcast. Meanwhile, Meghan Markle's dislike of the word diva has been slammed by Hollywood diva Joan Collins, who said it's meant to be a compliment in a recent interview. Discussing a potential project in which she would play an American divorcee who married a member of the British royal family, Wallace Simpson on Good Morning Britain on Monday, Collins was asked what she thought of Meghan. "Do we need to give them any more oxygen?" she responded. When told that Meghan was in Britain with Harry to attend a number of charity events, Collins said that she hadn't had a chance to read the papers. Collins was later questioned about Meghan's dislike of the word diva. Collins, who's been labelled a diva for the characters she's played over the years on stage and screen, voiced consternation that Markle would consider the word as negative. "I think it's rather nice to be called a diva now and again," she said. "I mean, it's supposed to be a compliment, actually." In the second episode of a solo podcast, Archetypes, where she discussed feeling taken aback when called the name by Mariah Carey, she said, "It was all going swimmingly, I mean, really well until that moment happened when, I don't know about you, but it stopped me in my tracks, when she called me a diva. She must have heard my nervous laughter, and you all would have heard it too, as she jumped right in to make sure I was crystal clear that when she said diva, she was talking about the way that I dress, the posture, the clothing, the quote-unquote fabulousness as she sees it," she said. She meant diva as a compliment, but I heard it as a dig. I heard it as the word diva as I think of it. But in that moment, as she explained to me, she meant it as chic, aspirational. How one word can mean something very different for each of us, it's mind-blowing to me.